Welcome to the April edition of the Game Center News. I'm Andrew Addison.
And I am Joseph Cruz.
Our top stories. Sony has released a new game. Well, no, not really. They teased it and then they announced it, so I guess it's kind of a tease announced thing, but then they didn't really show anything except for one video. But the game, anyways, is not God of War 4, however, which was very much so believed. Instead, it is a prequel-sequel kind of thing. It is God of War Ascension, which is supposed to take place before the original, and I guess after Chains of Olympus. They really haven't talked much about the single player. They talked more about and confirmed, and there's no denying it, there's multiplayer for Ascension, which looks awesome. It's so good looking. It's not even funny how good it looks. But it is going to be a fantastic game, and it's due probably around March 2013, they said right now. And they said it's nowhere near to be done, so you might as well just wait a while for it.
And also this month, or in April, Bethesda released a multi-pack of Fallout 3 and Oblivion for the 360 and PS3. Its selling price is starting out at $49.99, and it's a really good pickup if you haven't played them before, or if you've played them before but just don't own them and you want to own them. It comes with all the patches also, so the glitches are gone.
In other news, another game has been revealed, this time by, well, I guess you could call it Disney Interactive, and game legend Warren Spector released a kind of hidden message to certain viewers, inviting them to a presentation in which they showed the first trailer and the first couple of minutes of gameplay for Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two. However, Warren Spector also announced there is another Epic Mickey game in production called Epic Mickey The Power of Illusions for the 3DS coming out as well this year. Now, Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two, is not just an exclusive to the Wii this year. It is also for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and the Wii. However, it's not releasing on Wii U, which is kind of confusing when you think about why he would just put it on the Wii. But also, this game is going to make history as being the first time that this game is going to have, literally, as the game progresses, there will be certain musical moments in which literally the characters will gauge into a musical. Why they decided to do that, I'm not sure, but it sounds cool. Also in the Epic Mickey series coming up, his first time will be Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which I can't remember his name. His name is Frank something. It's a very weird last name now that I think about it. But apparently he's been in a lot of animated films and a lot of games as well. So we're pretty sure it's going to sound awesome. But basically that's the big thing for Epic Mickey and Disney this year, is they're coming out with two games, which also The Power of Illusion is a kind of redoing of the classic Mickey Mouse game, The Castle of Illusion. So be looking forward to that later this year.
And also this month, Sony announced PlayStation All-Stars. This is kind of like PlayStation's version of Super Smash Bros. The cast so far, they've only been allowed to announce 6 people, but there's also a bunch of really good guesses. The official cast right now is Sly Cooper, Sweet Tooth, Papa Rapper, is that right? You say that? Mm-hmm. Fat Princess, Kratos, and a character from Killzone. The stages include mashups from God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, Little Big Planet, and Hot Shot Golfs. And there's also been Twitter rumors that Cole from Infamous is also going to be a character. Santa Monica is co-producing this game alongside a brand new company that Sony is starting up. And the new company is composed of people who have worked on UFC Undisputed and Mortal Kombat.
Also that came out this past month was a book, and I know it's kind of weird for us to be talking about a book, however it does have to deal with game-related news, in which one of the games that they're making is coming out this month. The book is called The Outlaw Story of Grand Theft Auto. This is not just the story of Grand Theft Auto, however, this is the story of how Rockstar got started and how they changed everything. Literally, it's a really great book.
And now we're moving to the guy for reviews.
Okay, everybody. We're gonna do some reviews. Everybody ready? Okay. Mass Effect 3 from IGN got a 9.5. I haven't played it yet. Sounds pretty good. I played a little bit of the first one. It gets pretty interesting when you get into it. GameStop gave it a 9. 9 out of 10, just a 9. Mario Party 9. As you can see back here, it's playing. I played all the other Mario Parties. IGN gave it a 7.5. That's, no, I think it was better. GameStop gave it a 6 out of 10. And, Resident Evil, 4 out of 10 from IGN. No, I don't know which Resident Evil. Is it the one for the 3DS? Which one?
Raccoon City.
Raccoons. I haven't played it, but I think it should probably be better than a 4 out of 10. And GameStop gave it pretty much the exactly same, 4.5. And that's all I have here. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, I'm Michael White, and today I'm doing sales. And I'm going to go over the top game sales for in the USA for April as of the 28th in 2012. Number 1 was for the Xbox 360, and it's Prototype 2. Number 2 is also Prototype 2, but for the PlayStation 3. Number 3 is Mass Effect 3 for the Xbox 360. And number 4 is the PlayStation 3 version of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3. Number 5 for the Xbox 360 is The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings. Number 6 for the Wii is Just Dance 3. Number 7 for the Wii is Zumba Fitness 2. And number 8 for the Xbox 360 is Kinect Star Wars. Number 9 for the Xbox 360 is Kinect Adventures. And number 10 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 for the Xbox 360. Hardware sales are, in first place is the 3DS. Second is the PlayStation 3, followed by the Xbox 360. In fourth is Wii, fifth is the PSP, in sixth is the PlayStation Vita, and in seventh is the DS.
I'm going over Kinect Star Wars. Most people were not expecting much out of this game because the Kinect hasn't really been that good so far. However, Kinect Star Wars has changed all of that. First, they were going to release the game sometime last year, I believe. It might have even been 2010 when they announced it. I can't remember. But they decided to hold its production back until they could work with the Kinect and make sure the sensors were actually good. It did have one epic flaw, however, in the game, which was the dancing mode, which no one liked at all. Out of all the reviews I read and everything, user comments and all, no one liked it. However, the pod racing was, everyone agreed, the best mode in the game. It captured the same speed and the fun of it like it did in Episode 1. And then the actual storyline, it's kind of confusing. It takes place after Episode 6, but the gameplay takes place in between 1 and 2. Overall, it was a really good game, and it even has a mode where you can play as the Rancor monster and just destroy everything. So it's kind of like Rampage in Star Wars. So
How can the story be taking place in the future? But the
you're going through the Jedi archives with C-3PO and R2.
Well, that makes sense.
And
Oh,
they're
okay.
taking
That makes
that
sense.
takes place after
You
Episode
confuse
6.
me, really.
Time travel!
And you're kind of like watching what happened back then.
Okay. Xenoblade Chronicles, the game that no one in this county bought but me.
I will be buying it.
It's sort of like, I don't know how to describe it exactly. I haven't been able to play it because I have an old Wii that refuses to give me any love. But basically, it's supposed to be like an old school RPG, but they've sort of reinvented it. So it's trying to capture that magical feeling you got back when you played something like Chrono Trigger or one of the older Final Fantasies, but still, you know, update it for modern gaming, like the Quest and, you know, stuff I can't explain because I'm illiterate. The music's good. They have, unlike most games where they use one composer, they have multiple composers. Someone who worked on the Kingdom Hearts, some other well-known people. It's Monolith Soft, right? And they've worked on the Xenogears, yeah, Xenogear games, which I've heard are good, well respected, and heard the story's interesting. And
Max Payne 3 is coming coming Tuesday now. On May 15th, it will be released for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and the later version for the PC I think is on May 30th, maybe? I probably got that one wrong, so don't be mad at me if I did. But it is coming out. It is not by the original makers of the game. It is not by Remedy Entertainment. It is developed and produced by Rockstar, and it is supposed to be a great game. Like, there have already been like people who've come out and played it and said it's unlike any third-person shooter. And like compared to Gears of War or something like Call of Duty, even a first-person shooter, like you get in the routine of a normal shooter and you ease through it easy. This game, they say, as you play, it literally keeps you on the edge of your seat to the point. One reviewer said he was left almost breathless and like he was breaking the sweat by the end of one of the levels of the game.
Then we have Roller Coaster Tycoon 3D. It's the first installment of the Roller Coaster Tycoon series that's actually going to make its way to a console. It's going to be on the 3DS. Well, portable, same thing. It's going to be it's going to have elements of all three of the original PC games. It's going to start out with Coaster Mode, which is the story mode, and you play as a little kid that is building his own roller coaster parks. Each level presents a new challenge for the player to experience, and you have to pass it. So that will give anyone who plays it a good chance to just get the full experience out of it and show off your skills, basically. But it also comes with a tutorial mode with a character who everyone's saying is looks a lot like Mario if he was older. I'm not sure about that, but we'll have to find out. Besides that, they have a sandbox mode, that's what it's called, and experienced players that already know how to do the game from the PC versions, you can just go into the sandbox mode and build your own park from scratch with no specific restrictions besides your financial.
We are now going to do a review of the big action title of April, which is Prototype 2, while next month will probably be Max Payne 3. So, let's get straight to it. Prototype 2 is the sequel to the 2009 hit, compared to, like, infamous, I guess you could say, of the original Prototype, which introduced the story of Alex Mercer introducing the blacklight virus to New York City and causing a massive devastation. Sounds fun. Well, it wasn't. So, we're picking up with Prototype 2. You've got a new protagonist, James Heller, who is a family man who comes back to New York to see his city ravaged by the virus, which is, again, broke out. This time, Alex Mercer is leading the attack on the city. So he comes back, finds his wife dead and his daughter missing, and he goes all crazy. He is messed up. All he wants is revenge on Alex Mercer. And within the process, he meets Alex face to face, and instead of killing him, Alex gives him his powers and creates, I guess you could say, Prototype 2. So, it's kind of an interesting story. It's kind of like a Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader thing. It's kind of the thing in your mind. You're getting more powerful, but you keep that mindset, can I really beat this guy? Because Alex Mercer is really powerful in the game, and he shows that to you multiple times. But the story itself, it's actually a little bit hard to get into. Around the first couple minutes, you realize, okay, I want revenge on Alex Mercer, but in a kind of a spoiler sense, not giving away too much, but in some way you kind of team up with Alex around the beginning of the game, and it makes absolutely no sense of why you are if you want revenge on him. Gameplay, however, is actually very fun. They fixed a lot of the issues from the first game. You can now hot swap your powers in mid-combat, so you could have the blades going on at one point, and then you could go to the claws or the tendrils or whatever you want to, and it's really fun because it's kind of like how Batman Arkham City incorporated the gadgets in their combat. It's really fun and it's really easy and it's really just interesting. It keeps the fight engaging and just awesome. New things that they've added to a lot of the things. Like they've added layers. There's like little upgrades to your attacks, and you can go in and just basically boost up everything that you've got. And like a ton of side missions in the open world. In the game itself actually is a lot better looking than the first one. How the first one looked like it was literally from the PlayStation 2. This one is more of a PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 looking. However, there is still some work that needs to be done, but it is still a great looking game, especially the city. The city is magnificent looking. Going on, controls. Controls are a little bit hard to get to, especially with the navigation at the beginning. Very, I guess you could say, as you start to learn it, it feels very disjointed, but as you play through the rest, it feels more natural and smooth to you. However, if you play the first one, you're going to have some trouble because the controls are a little tweaked, but it shouldn't take long to get the hang of them. The camera itself is where it starts to fall down, especially in combat. The overrunning of too much enemies, however, while you have the ability to dodge and a greater advantage over enemies in combat, dodging doesn't really help the camera. The camera just goes everywhere when something's going, especially when you're locking onto something. When you see a helicopter, you want to lock onto the helicopter and take its weapon, and instead, for some reason, you lock onto a car. I don't know why, but you do. So that's a little bit kind of out there. So the cam would probably be the bad thing about this game. The replay value, however, is actually pretty good. They give you a new game plus for it, so it's fun to go back with all your powers and replay the game. While the game story is a little bit crazy, it is fun. It is a good story in the end, especially around the end. It makes a lot more sense of what's going on. Replay value overall, though, comes with the RadNet edition. If you have the RadNet edition, they specifically designed this so you would come back and play the game. For example, like every week they release a new challenge for their RadNet. Like for the hardcore gamers who want to get a trophy or who like to do challenges just to say, hey, I did this and I can do it. They release challenges every week that you can go back and do. And they continue doing this. The ultimate prize is the end. You get to play as Alex Mercer. But you continue through this and you get a ton of cool, like behind the scenes, new powers, all this. So the replay value is definitely high up on this. Multiplayer online, they don't have no multiplayer. You just might as well give it up. Maybe they should though, because it might be interesting. And online, just get the RadNet edition. You should be good for a couple more months after you beat the original game. Overall, I would give this game probably about an 8 out of 10. There's still work that needs to be done, but that does not mean it's not a great game. It is a good game. It's very fun, but it's still got some tweaks it needs to work out. So the prototype is not perfect yet, obviously. That's why they gave it the name Prototype. But it's still got some work that needs to be done. Okay.
Please stop filming me.